This is the Pythonic Accountant, and today we're going to show a short video on the new ChatGPT o3 model. This thing is crazy. It's basically like full agentic by itself. It can do Python, it can do web search, it can do quite a bit. So let's go ahead and dive in. I'm just going to do a simple example. I'm going to say, give me the last 10 quarterly financial statements for Tesla, focusing on the operating expense, and build a trend line for me. So what this is going to do is, first, it's going to go and find where it can get the source information for getting these values. And then it's going to pull them into Python and actually start to build a chart and a trend line for me. So it'll take a little bit because it has to figure out where it's going to get that information. And then it's got to make sure it's the right information. It'll probably have to get from a couple of sources depending on which of the financial documents has this. But last time I tried this, it worked pretty well. So we'll just have to see if it works this time. And so you can see it's showing us what it's doing, what it's thinking right now. So it says I'm using web search to find data from different sources. It's telling me its goal is to gather Tesla's operating expenses by quarter for the last 10 quarters to help build a trend line. Once it has the numbers, I'll prepare the Python code to plot the data and create the trend line. And here we go. So Tesla operating expenses last 10 quarters. This is what it's saying the values are. And we can go in and validate this to see if it's actually correct when we have a source that it gives us. And as you can see, it's got the operating expenses, and it looks like it's kind of variable up and down, but there is a pretty consistent trend that you can see over the past 10 quarters, which is pretty cool. So it says it pulled the operating expense line for the last 10 Qs via macro trends quarterly data set sourced from SEC filings and plotted it. It's got a persistent upward drift, step ups around model refresh cycles. That makes sense. Seasonal softness. So it went ahead and did kind of an analysis too, which is pretty cool. Let's see if we can validate this just to make sure that we're looking at accurate data here. So we go to macro trends, Tesla, and annual operating expenses were 90 billion in 2024. Can we get the quarterly? I'm not sure if this will show us the quarterly amounts, but let's see if we can validate at least that the 90 matches up. So 90 billion for 2024 would need to mean that when we look at the 2024 values, they should add up to about 90 billion. So that's a good gut check real quick. And sure enough, when we look at these values here, it does look like it adds up to about 90. You got 20, 44, 66, and 90. Yeah, that's pretty awesome. So I haven't vetted these numbers completely to validate, but it seems like it's probably accurate, and it's pretty awesome. One other thing that's neat is we can turn this into an interactive chart if we want. Just click this button here, and now all of a sudden it's a slightly different format, and we can just kind of hover our mouse over it. It doesn't change much else. We can't pull any triggers or anything because it's not that much of an interactive chart, but still pretty neat. So anyways, that's it for today's video. Once again, o3 model, totally different than anything we've seen before. It strings together all of the benefits of the reasoning model plus all of the tools that you have accessible to your traditional GPT 4.0. So this thing's a beast. Try it out. That's awesome. We'll see you next time.